Let's talk about the issues. I think it's essential that we address some of the issues that plague our city. Let's talk about police protection. Let's talk about economic development. Let's talk about the taxation issue. Let's talk about the water issue. There's so much that has to be accomplished and has to be approached head on and dealt with. The police department is sorely understaffed. We have 14 officers down from 25. They are unable to man the streets and shifts properly. So what's happening is, simply put, they are brought in on an extra time basis. So if the normal shift is 8 hours per officer, it is now 12 hours per officer. That overtime pay now equates to more than what additional police officers would cost. Doesn't make any sense to have it set up that way. We need safe streets. We don't need criminals and burglars reading about how unsafe Prospect Heights is because they're limited police protection issue. So that's a major issue, and it can be addressed. It can be addressed by budget. It can be addressed by working with the new chief and setting up a program. We really have to address the issue of our streets. Craters, potholes, all kinds of dangerous areas on the streets today that need to be repaired, replaced. I've been in commercial development all my life, and what we need in Prospect Heights is that commercial development, whether it's Prospect Crossings where the old Dominic's is, or the closed shuttered auto parts store for the past 10 years at Route 83 in Palatine, or several other of the properties that are not only not producing taxes, they're an eyesore to our city. We need to make those a viable entity. We need to be sure that we collect sales taxes. We had the opportunity to do that, and yet the council did not go ahead and get that done. You have to know how to run a business. You have to know what the income is, the expenses are, and pay attention to the bottom line. Sales taxes alone from the Myers debacle really were planned to be about $450,000 a year. That's a tremendous amount versus the closed shutter Dominic's we have now. So the markets that were interested in going into that storefront in particular, Ultra Foods and Tony's Fruit Market, are national stores. They would have brought in close to $1 million in sales taxes each year. Over a 10-year period, that's $10 million. It's the numbers that would add up to help us fund the general fund and give us money to spend on operations and give us money to spend with no tax increase. The commercial development issue and the commercial development incentive for people to come to Prospect Heights simply doesn't exist at the present time. That will be one of the first things that I will work on. Good police protection, good commercial development and incentive programs for merchants to come in. The backbone of economic revenue comes from economic development. Fairly simple. We had the opportunity in this last year and a half to have Myers open up their new store in the old Dominic's at Prospect Crossings. It didn't happen. We had the opportunity to allow Sarpino's Pizza to come in, build a new building on the corner of Route 83 in Palatine, where the dilapidated eyesore old auto parts store has been closed for the last 10 years. It didn't happen. We have trusted the leaders that we elected to do the right job. That has not occurred. We came for space, we came for good schools, we came for a safe place to raise our children, we came for police protection. A lot of that is missing today and has not been dealt with. I bring common sense to what I'm doing here. I've run a business, successful large businesses all my life. I bring that knowledge, that fiscal responsibility, that understanding. I'm a director on banks. I am on the airport board. I do things at the community level for the churches and the schools. I'm a basketball coach. I have put together teams for the last 22 years in high school that played a game that are individuals that must be brought together to work together to achieve a common goal. We're missing some of that in Prospect Heights. Give media opportunity to serve you and make sure that those kinds of things happen in the future. It's all about family, your family and mine, and we want to get something done that's positive. That has not happened to date. Make that change April 5th, and I guarantee you that we will spend time together, we will have a dialogue, we will have a divergence of opinions, but we'll come together with a consensus. And that's how we're going to make things happen.